Hello, Keith Downing here. I'll be presenting for my class CIT 495. It's a presentation of my research paper I conducted. I'm streaming this now, and family and friends and fellow peers will be viewing this later tonight. So sit back, and I hope you enjoy the information I can present to you about the importance of a strong user password. All right, as I said before, it's Keith Downing, the author of the paper. My presentation and paper is titled The Importance of a Strong User Password. This is for my CIT 495 course at Brigham Young University, Idaho. Streaming online. Little introduction here. We're going to talk about online challenges, the strong user passwords, and tools to help create strong passwords. Each time you access these online applications, you're increasing your potential for online threats and attackers who want access to your information that represents yourself in the online world. There are also those attackers that are out in the online world that just want to corrupt your data or your computer just for the simple fact that they want to be destructive. Cyber threats can be dated back as far as 1986, which was the creation of the first known computer virus known as Brain, which is a focus of IBM attacks. Strong user password is the first and main defense that can be implemented by users wanting to have a pleasant and safe experience each time they go online and use the internet. A strong user password is a minimum of 12 characters in length and can range all the way up to 30 in some cases, but generally sticks to 15 at the most. Whether it's your online application or your internet profile, it will determine that length when you use to create your account through them. Generally your character should contain and incorporate a combination of uppercase letters and lowercase, numbers, special characters like $, exclamation point, and question mark, just to list a few of the more common special characters that are used today in strong user passwords. Then we'll also talk about some of the tools. One of the tools that was created for this project was a HTML and JavaScript program that the author Keith Downing created. It's going to be a random password generator, and we'll discuss that further in the presentation. But then we'll also be talking about password string checkers that we can use to check our passwords. And these two tools are essential to help test the validity of the password generator created. The one that was created will have 15 characters that are chosen at random and will display on the web page. And then that created password, what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to test it against the online string checkers to see how strong it actually is. Dangers of the digital world. Here are the top 10 that were chosen, because the dangers of the digital world are real, and awareness and knowledge are defenses against those dangers that users face when exploring the online world, known as the internet. These dangers can range from malicious programs called malware, which are specifically designed to capture your personal information, corrupt and destroy your personal devices, such as your tablets or computers. And these malicious programs can even be set to lock up your computer and set a ransom to your computer device, demanding money for the password that will unlock your device. Which, if you do not pay it, could result or will result in your personal data being erased permanently. Examples that we're going to talk about are identity theft, malware, viruses, spyware, ransomware, phishing, adware, social engineering and social media attacks, brute force attacks, and spam. Identity theft. As the name implies, your identity is stolen. Malicious attacks on your online applications and web pages with the intent of collecting your personal information that will compromise your identity. Identity theft is where someone other than yourself collects a sensitive piece of information like your driver's license, social security number, with the intent to impersonate you for their gain or detriment to your person. Your identity theft could also provide attackers with the ability to infiltrate other online applications and web pages and cause further damage and harm to yourself and those around you. This can happen by users downloading a virus, using phishing, and other methods that collect data on your profile or other information. This type of attack is difficult to catch early. When this type of attack occurs, it can be weeks or even months later when you finally discover that your identity has been stolen and used by someone else. Attackers can use your identity to infiltrate your bank and credit card accounts. Then with this access, they can amass a large debt and monetary loss to you. Malware, otherwise known as malicious software. Harmful software with intent to gain access to your computer network or financial data. This type of threat is defined as any software that tries to infect a digital device or digital service. The intent of malware is to gain access to your computer network or even your financial data. Malware is an abbreviation for malicious software. Malware is a blanket term that encompasses harmful software like viruses, spyware, ransomware, phishing, worms, trojans, rootkits, and browser hijackers. This type of threat is generally access to your emails and your downloads from the internet. With malware downloading from your user accounts directly is a way malware affects your user experience. Hacking tools and kits for cyber attacks, identity theft, malware, ransomware, and other nefarious purposes have been available in online marketplaces for several years, at price points starting as low as $1, which makes the cost of entry to a life of cybercrime nearly free. Viruses. Virus is a malicious program designed to infect the software of your computer or mobile device. This type of threat is downloaded without your knowledge or permission. An attacker gains access to your accounts because of a weak user password. They can upload a computer virus to your computer without your knowledge. Once downloaded, a computer virus is set to replicate itself very quickly and spread at an alarming rate through the user's computer. A virus accomplishes this task when a user completes a specific task, such as opening up a file or email attachment. Spyware. Spyware is an all-encompassing internet nasty and is usually attached to pop-ups of downloadable files. Once installed on your computer, spyware can monitor your keystrokes, read and delete files, reformat your hard drive, and access applications. Spyware has another type of program called a keystroke logger. This nasty piece of software, when downloaded, records your keystrokes that you make in order to develop a database of sorts to collect your personal data. What makes spyware unique is the fact that attackers will often combine or bundle spyware into downloadable material like music or movie files. Your accounts you use to download music and movies could be at risk from attacks from spyware. Ransomware. Another malicious type of malware that can be accessed and then completely lock your computer unless a monetary amount is paid for the password or password phrase key. This malware can also be called rogueware or scareware. This malicious software can be downloaded onto your computer simply by visiting a website that is infected with it. One of the type of threats this attack poses is the fact that it's usually created by attackers with a vast amount of computer programming knowledge. Statistic here, global ransomware damage costs are predicted to hit $20 billion in 2021. That's just up from $11.5 billion estimated in 2019. $5 billion in 2017, and just $325 million in 2015. And that's according to Cybersecurity Ventures. Phishing. Word phishing sounds just like the word phishing. Attackers are doing just that. They are phishing for your information. It's widely reported that more than 90% of successful hacks and data breaches stem from phishing scams. Emails crafted to lure their recipients to click a link, open a document, or forward information to someone they shouldn't. Training users how to detect and react to these threats is a critical ransomware deterrent. Phishing here. Phishing scams can also take the guise of legitimate websites that have been sent to your email account, and they want you to verify information like your username, password, or even account number because there has been suspicious activity reported on your account. And you should take further action immediately to avoid further damages or breaches. The attackers have taken one of your online fears and turned it against you in order to gain access to your data. Adware. This type of malware uses advertisements or pop-up windows to bombard your computer with what seems like an infinite barrage. In the beginning, adware was a part of the larger category referred to as spyware. Attackers can use your browsing data to collect information on websites you visit and then in return send pop-up windows or advertisements to your web browser. These pop-up windows and advertisements commonly appear as one of the following. Annoying advertisements wanting you to click on the window to close it, or the guys as a legitimate site wanting to offer you a limited time offer on a product. And then you think to yourself, this is a great offer. You click on the link, and suddenly you have been sent to a completely different website. You have just been subjected to an adware attack. The other side of the coin is that you're sent to a website that looks legitimate. You log into their website to access the limited time offer, and just like that, the attacker now has gained access to your username and password for that particular site. Social engineering and social media attacks. Through social media, like Facebook, attacks can be organized. Social engineering also can take the form of an outsider posing as an information technology employee and call a random office extension and request the network information off of a local device, such as a router or computer. What makes these types of attacks such a concern is the attacker regularly checks blogs and your social media sites, as well as IT security experts' information, and use that information to orchestrate attacks. Social engineering seeks to exploit this weak link by appealing to people's vanity, greed, curiosity, altruism, or respect for or fear of authority in order to get them to reveal certain information to allow them to access a system. Social media attacks are also targeting individuals and tracking them down in person. However, this isn't just a risk of digital security. Cybercriminals are now using IG and other social media sites that physically track and harm well-to-do executives, celebrities, and other high profilers such as athletes and even politicians. Phishing is another aspect of social engineering type attack, along with baiting. Baiting is where someone pretends to be someone else and uses that disguise to gain personal data. Brute force attack. Brute force attack is an attempt to crack a password or username, or find a hidden web page, or find the key used to encrypt a message using a trial and error approach and hoping eventually to guess correctly. Simply put, the attacker uses a front attack and tries to crack your password or username on your accounts. Just to put this kind of in perspective of a brute force attack, a 6-character password, just including numbers, has approximately 2 billion possible combinations. Cracking it with a powerful CPU that tries 30 passwords per second takes more than 2 years. By simply increasing your password length to 10 characters, numbers, and special characters, it can take a modern computer over 500 years to crack through a brute force attack. Showing that strong user passwords in this particular attack are very important. The attackers rely on the patience to gain access to your information. Spam. Unwanted emails and messages. Spam is an unsolicited message that advertises a service or product, the electronic version of junk mail. Spam can be found all across all your accounts as you browse the online world. social media sites, blogs, even personal messaging services you may use. According to the Electronic Commerce in Canada, 80% of the emails there sent are spam. Next time you open up your email account, look for the spam or junk folder. This just goes to show you that spam or junk is such an issue that there is a special folder because of the volume of these types of messages the user will receive, and they need to be placed separately from all your other email you receive. Now we've kind of talked about the dangers on the internet. Now let's talk about what we can do to protect ourselves. And that's creating a strong user password. What constitutes a strong user password? 12 to 15 characters in length. Include at least one capitalized letter, one lowercase letter, one number, and at least one special character. You make sure you don't use any dictionary phrases. You don't want to use any names or phrases known to your family. Take the example, this phrase, I do not want to take one for the team now. Now using just the first letter of each word, it becomes the password IDNW2T1FTTN exclamation, which is a 12 character in length strong user password. Makes it easy to remember and also provides you with a measure of strength of a password that you need to make sure your information stays secure. Some of the tools that we'll talk about that are available to strengthen password are password generators and password strength checker. Password generator is a tool that you can use to randomly create a password for you to use. It's a great tool to help educate you. In words of caution before we proceed, it is recommended that if you use an online password generator, do not use that password you create on your personal accounts. Most web pages will state that they do not save personal information or passwords. It is in your best interest, however, to use online password generators for educational purposes only, because you never know if that information is being saved or not. The password generator will create a password based on parameters that you can state, and there is also one that was created for this project by the author, Keith Downing. Password generator that was created for this project is a combination of HTML and JavaScript coding. It will generate a 15 character length password with a capital letter, one lowercase letter, at least one number, and at least one special character. Here's the form code at the top there in HTML. And then down towards the middle, you'll see script, and that's where the script is that will create the characters for the password. And then also with this in the form, there'll be a button to be clicked. Excuse me. When this program is ran, this is what you'll see on your web page. You'll have your title, random password generator, your password result, and if you click to generate a password button, you'll get up a random password. And each time you click it, it'll show up randomly. And then once you've generated this password, then you can check the strength of it by using a password strength checker to evaluate the password you've created and test it against different types of parameters. The letters inside the quotes there were used on the research paper, and the next slide will show the results of that password. On the Kaspersky image on the lower left, showing you it will take 2,645 centuries to brute force crack that code just from an average computer. That's just that time you can spend walking to the moon and back 10,817 times. On the second image here, it's how secure is my password.net. It's saying that it would take 204 million years to crack that code based on their parameters. In addition to the password generator created, there was a small study that was given to peers at Brigham Young University, Idaho, and my family and friends. Peer group consisted of 300 peers, and the family member group was 50 members. There was just 4 general questions that were asked on general password knowledge. Here's the peer results for questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Family and friends results for the same questions. And here's our case study comparison of the groups together. As you can see, for question 1, the family group chose 100% for the third option, and the peers selected 90%. Question 2, the majority of family chose option 3, which is C, 77.8%. And the peer group on that question, their results were varied between options E and B being the majority. Question 3, 77.8% of family chose true. 72.5% chose true for the peer group, and the remaining portion chose false. Now, on the final question, question 4, the family group, 100% of the participants chose true, whereas in the peer group, 93.8% chose true for that. This is showing a comparison for question 1 that the family and peer group both had a solid understanding of what a character length should be on a strong password. Question number 2, this was to do with what length of password it should be. The family group chose C, with 12 to 15 is the best. Whereas E is an acceptable answer at 43.8. Although it was looking for the best answer. So overall, both groups seem to have an average to above average knowledge of length of password. The next question that was given to the groups was the true and false question about, excuse me. I'm going to take a drink here. All right. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me again. Question 3 dealt with the whether it was good practice to write down your password on paper to keep it or not, which is always good to realize that you should never write your password down. You should use a tool like a password manager to help you. And finally, question 4, that you should not use a easily guessed phrase like your birthday to have your password consist of, which the family group chose 100% and the peer group 93.8. So both groups on that question again showed that they had a good understanding that those passwords you use should not be easily guessed. So concluding the comparison of the groups, I think overall the family group had more consistent knowledge of what general password knowledge they should have and what a strong user password should or should not be. Whereas the peer group was closely behind, but they seem to struggle more on what the character length of a strong password should be. And in conclusion, we need to arm ourselves with knowledge to help protect us best. And we also need to be familiar with the tools we can use to help us in providing additional knowledge to gain strength for our passwords online. Because the online world presents many opportunities for us to explore and navigate. When we arm ourselves with knowledge, we can safely navigate the online world with a peace of mind that we can protect our online information to our best of our ability. Talk about the top 10 online threats, and we've learned what we can do to protect ourselves. Whether we're using our own password generator or an online generator, we will have the knowledge base of what a user needs to have a strong user password for their accounts. It does not matter if you're a college student, a youth in elementary, or even an elderly individual. Online threats are real, and without the proper awareness and knowledge, online attackers can breach our accounts and steal our information and use it for their gains and detriment to our characters for years to come. Here's the references for this paper. This is Keith Downing concluding the presentation for the importance of a strong user password.